Welcome to Switch Comics. My name is Marco, and Godslap 2 is finally here. I am very excited to talk about this comic. I got the prologue, I got issue 1, and issue 2 is finally here. Before we get into the meat of the comic, I did want to talk a little bit about shipping and presentation. There's been some notorious issues with Godslap. Again, basically it boils down to Charlie is not a comic guy. This is his first thing, his first comic, and they got into the business of learning how and who to work with and all that stuff. And there's been some problems. That is the very short answer of it. The first issue they did like on a pre-order type basis, so you paid for it and then you waited a long time as they dealt with the companies printing them and all that stuff, and that kind of sucked. That sucked a lot, and Charlie has addressed that and also agreed that it sucked. And again, learning opportunity. It is what it is. You move on. They did do better on the actual issue 1, so the second comic, but issue number 1. I didn't have much issue, to my recollection. My first issue came in, or issue number 1 came in very promptly after ordering it. And this one I ordered last Wednesday, and then it arrived this Wednesday. So again, pretty smooth on my end. On my last video talking about Godslap issue number 1, I still had lots of people, even not that terribly long ago, leaving comments saying that they still didn't get theirs. Now granted, there can always be issues with the post office and stuff like that. I don't know. As far as I know, and I haven't looked super into it, I just, I know I have received many comments on that video, people saying that they were having shipping issues still. It was fine for me. This one was fine for me. Way smoother than previous ones. I did want to say also, I believe it was on last issue. I left a comment because I think they just sent. I ordered all the variants. It was like 4 variants or whatever on issue number 1, and they sent all of them in just like a little not bubble mailer, just like a kind of hard, not hard, but like cardstock kind of envelope, and no protection. They're just sliding around in there. I'm a big comic guy, obviously, so it was a little bit disappointing to me when you have especially like a black cover like this. If it's sliding around, you're gonna get color rub. Especially look at that black cover background. You're gonna get color rub all up and down that book from it just sliding around while shifting to the post office. Not to mention, like, some of them had corner dings and stuff like that. I'm a big comic nerd, so maybe that mattered to me more than maybe a lot of other people. But also, I don't know, if you're paying for a product, you want a product to arrive in good condition. That's just how anything goes. I did want to say, now granted, obviously, I opened up this one because I had to read it before doing the video, but all of these, well, before I jump ahead of myself, first of all, like I said, for the last issue, I sent them an email, and I think I said something in my video as well, just talking about, ways that they could improve. Again, just basically, I was like, look, I'm a comic book nerd. This is how you can ship comics to better protect them. And not attacking them or nothing, just be like, look, I understand this is not your field of expertise, so let me tell you how I ship comics and how that typically goes. And I'm happy to say that this one came in a Gemini mailer. Now, I'm also not trying to take not blame, but credit. Not trying to take credit and be like, this is all my doing. I assume other people probably commented or emailed as well and stuff. Saying, look, here's some advice, or maybe they're working with a better distributor that's helping out and knows better things. I just like to think that maybe, because I never got a response or anything, so I'm like, maybe my email was read. I just assume, I assume he gets a bunch of emails, so if he didn't read my email, no big deal. But seeing this, I'm like, maybe he did read my email. On top of that, and this is why I think, again, this is probably a lot of other people, or again, just working with a better distributor, that this was a big surprise to me. Each issue came in a poly bag with a little backer board to help, keep it protected even further, which was pretty cool. And like I said, I opened up this one so I could read it. And I will open up those later. But let me go ahead and show. So I showed you off the A cover already. Don't need this Gemini mailer anymore. That was loud. Uh, here's the B cover, and then we have the C cover, and my personal favorite, the D cover, I think is, I'm a sucker for good, bold, strong lines. I love line work like that. It really it's my weakness, you know. And on top of that, I mean, I think the colors are great. The highlights on the hand are all real cool. I love the. It's a great composition. Super super awesome cover. Really really like this one. To the best of my knowledge, all of these are still available at godslapbook.com. Go check it out if you want any of these. The A cover, there's a significant more. Actually, I thought he might have. He might have them always available for print on the A covers. I'm not exactly sure, but I definitely know like the other ones are more limited. So you know, if you want one of those limited covers, make sure you get them. Like I said, my personal recommendation is the D cover. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's go ahead and talk about the book then, I guess. I have enjoyed this series. Again, we've only had a prologue, and then we're on issue 2 now. So obviously it's taken a while. It is what it is, you know. You know, he's getting the book out, I'm sure, as fast as he can, but hopefully we can sort to get on a more regular schedule moving forward. But being said, well, I'll have to point out one thing. I'm always not a super big fan of, and this is just if you check out any of my videos, you'll know I'm not a huge fan of the black, white, and blood paint scheme. It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. I do feel like this is one of the better cases of it. All in all, I still, if I had to pick myself, I would just have this full comic in color, or all the comics in color, you know, for Godslap. I think it would look a lot better. There's a really cool character introduced in the first issue, had a really cool cover as well. Olfactor. His body's mainly black, but has like, you know, like Tron line things going all around him. And I can't remember off the top of my head. I think he, like, you know, those lines are like green or something. And in the comic, it's just black and white. So it's like him, for example, does not look nowhere as cool as his cover did. And in general, I just think most comics look better in black and white. 99% of the time when a comic is... I'm sorry, most comics look better in color. 99% of the time when a comic is in black and white, it's a budgetary issue. And, you know, it's fine if you're up front with it and be like, hey, look, we didn't have the money to make it all in color. But I just... It really irks me when people are like, actually, we always intended it for it to be in black and white. I'm like, how come... Not saying this comic, but you'll see a lot where it's like they're not even shaded. Like if you look at this one, there is a lot of intense black and white shading. So I mean, this one to me is a pretty good example of a black and white comic. Sometimes, I mean, that can just be like the person's art style. Like for example, I'm a big fan of Ryan Stegman. I'm ranting a bit, I know, but I'm a big fan of Ryan Stegman. I think his work looks amazing in black and white, but like when I read the Venom run, I never was like, I wish this whole comic was in black and white, even though his black and whites look incredible. So just had to get that little mini rant. I'm going to probably say it before every single one of my reviews for this comic, because it's just how I feel, and I don't know who's, you know, watched old ones and who's new and all that. Going into it though, right out the gate, well, not right out the gate, I guess I don't even know how long into the movie video now, but right out the gate for the review section, actually, of the content, I really like this issue. I think it was the best one so far. Again, I know we're only like technically, I guess, 3 issues in. Even issue 2, again, we had a prologue. I thought it was super, super cool. Cheesy in ways, but not cheesy in any kind of way that I don't think is almost bent the comic. You know, it acknowledges, you know, it's not trying to be anything else. It knows what it is, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing, and, you know, like, get away from her, I gotta save the day, how could you do this, you know, kind of generic, like, anime type moments. And it's fun, it's goofy, it's got some action. This issue probably actually has maybe the least amount of action. There is some really cool stuff, and we're introduced to a new big bad character, and I think that's why I liked it so much. He's right here on the cover with a big mustache. He's pretty cool. I don't want to reveal too much about him, but he just shows up and he's a badass. All right, and so it's real interesting. Like in the first issue, he slapped around some street thugs and whatever. They all exploded, and it's like, okay, cool, he's strong. We know Aes is strong, but now moving into it, it's like, oh man, like he's got a challenge, and he's not ready for this challenge yet. He needs to, because like even in the first issue, he slapped around and then his arm exploded. So we know he needs more training and stuff anyway. But this is like, okay, this is again typical kind of anime vibe. Is like, this is the level he needs to get to next, and so it's a big hype moment for the series. I think is really really cool. Introduce a pretty cool bad guy, and it's always great. I don't want to spoil anything. It's a fun read. Like I said, you can still check it out at godslapbook.com, and then also you can get the digital downloads. I think they're $5, and there are some comic shops around. He's got a video on his channel. He actually had it in comic shops this time, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, that's. I don't want to get into it too much because, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything. My main takeaways are I still really wish it was in color. I just think it's always going to look better in color. And to take that into perspective, because some people are going to fight you or fight any opinion you ever have, and so my presentation on that is like, if it really does look better in black and white, then why are the covers in color? Why didn't they make these in black and white? It's because they look better. They're more presentable. This is what sells the book. It's like, ooh, okay, that's interesting looking. Let me pick that up, and it's in color. Now, granted, also it being in black and white also does kind of give it a little bit of a feeling of an homage to a manga, which again, like it feels aesthetically, the world does feel like. Now, granted, obviously, you're still reading it like an American comic book. It is an American comic book. But it kind of has this vibe of inspiration from a manga, and especially the tonality of the story and everything. So that way, I could see your argument being actually like, I like it in black and white. At that point, I would kind of argue that there shouldn't be the blood aspect either. I really just don't like the black, white, and blood aspect. It's been done to death. And if you're just a person that clicked on this video because you like Moist Critical and you want to check out Godslap, then, and you're not an actual comic reader, it's been something they've been doing for a little while, and I hate it because it's cheesy and they never do it in the right application, and it's irritating. So it's a pet peeve. Like I said, it irritates me, and I'm sure a lot of people don't care as much as I do about it. But yeah, I mean, super super solid issue. This, I don't know. Like I said, it's weird. It's just a fun, playful world where things are kind of cheesy, and you have your main hero protagonist that needs to get stronger, and we know he's going to get stronger. And then you have the damsel in distress. I don't know if her name's Cyan. I think it's spelled Cyan with an extra N. It could be Cyan. I don't know. I'm just gonna call her Cyan, I guess. But anyway, and she's kind of an interesting character. Some of the dialogue is a little we need to get this a little bit of backstory out. Say a question that seems a little awkward, but I like it. Like I said, little complaints about it here and there, but overall, I really really like it. If you haven't checked out I believe, like I said, I believe he stated he'll always have like the A covers for all the comics available for purchase. So I think you can go to the website and order a 1 and a 2 if you would like, or additionally, he has the cheaper digital download versions that you can order. And yeah, check it out. I think it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed reading it, and I hope you all did too. I'd love to know if you did read it, your opinions down below in the comments. I will continue to do Godslap stuff as long as he keeps making it. I'm having a good time with it. I sent the prologue off to get graded ages ago, and I don't know if it got lost because it's been like a year since I sent it to get graded. And I would really, it's a really cool cover. I think it's the Vicente cover, if I recall. I could be wrong. I might be remembering that wrong, but it's a really, really sweet cover, and I wish I had it back. But that's all I have for today. Like I said, if you have read the book, please let's talk about it in the comments. We can go full spoiler in the comments. What you like, didn't like, all that kind of stuff. Do you agree on the black and white, or black, white, and blood, and whatever? Disagree, you know. Again, it'd be kind of interesting to know from non-comic people that are checking this out, if that is as bothersome to you as it is to me, or if you like it. You might even think it's cool, you know. I don't know. I'd like to know what other people think. It's an interesting idea to me. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.